Good evening, Mazel Tov, to the entire congregation, to the Park Slope community, and to our dear friends, all the physicians from New York, Presbyterian Brooklyn Methodist Hospital. Did it right? Thank you, Dr. Peterson. Thank you. We are here tonight to celebrate this beautiful edifice that is used 365 days a year for people, for us to be able to come and pray and make our connection with God, with our community. And in this week's portion, we find where God says, talking about Abraham, the first Jew, God says, I love him. Why do I love him? God says, I love him because he is going to teach his children. Yishmeru derech Hashem laset tzedakah u'mishpat. He's going to teach his children to do kindness and righteousness. And that's why we're here tonight to celebrate, to give honor to people who have dedicated their lives to do kindness, righteousness, and that's going to continue on for many more years to come. I would like to start tonight's program with a prayer for the immediate release of all the hostages, the safety of Tzahal, and that God should bless us, that no innocent life should be lost. I'd like to call upon our past president, Mr. Emery Leventhal, who's going to lead us in Psalm 121. We'd like to ask everyone to please rise.
Shir Amalos, Esoinai Elohodim, Me'ayin Yovo Ezri. Ezri Me'im Adonai, Ose Shomayim Vo'oretz. Al Yitain Lamot Raglecha, Al Yonus Shomrecha. Hine Lo Yonus V'lo Yishon Shomer Yisrael. Adonai Shomrecha, Adonai Tzilcha, Ad Yad Niminecha. Yomom Hashemesh Lo Yakeka V'yoreach V'aloila. Adonai Yishmocha Mikol Ra Yishmor Es Nafshecha. Adonai Yishmor Tzeischa Uvoecha Me'ato V'ad Olam. A song of ascents. I will lift up mine eyes unto the mountains, from whence shall my help come? My help cometh from the Lord, who made heaven and earth. He will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee will not slumber. Behold, he that keepeth Israel does not slumber nor sleep. The Lord is thy keeper, the Lord is thy shade upon thy right hand. The sun shall not smite thee by day, nor the moon by night. The Lord shall keep thee free from all evil. He shall keep thy soul. The Lord shall guard thy going out and thy coming in from this time forth and forever.
Thank you. You may be seated. So, in celebrating 25 years, I figured, who do we honor? Let's find someone who's at least 25 years old. Then I said, well, if we can find someone 50, it's better. And then I said 75 is even better. 100? Wow, that's going to really be the icing on the cake. And I called up Murray. I said, Murray, we want to honor you at our next dinner in honor of your 100th birthday. And it comes out on the Jewish calendar tonight the 16th of the month of Cheshvan is actually Murray's 100th birthday. So happy birthday to Murray. And he was already quite weak. And when I told him about this, I saw a new energy in him. He got very excited. And all of a sudden, he was full of energy. And the next few times that I saw him, he was looking really forward to this celebration. And then God took him. And I asked myself the question, what did you do to me, God? That's not fair. We're planning a party. The synagogue is going to have a fundraiser. And this is what you do to me? And then one day, I was going through some of the videos, and Murray told me the following story. He told me, Rabbi, when my sister-in-law passed away, she died of cancer, and she was a nurse. She dedicated her life for other people, and when she died, everyone asked the question, why did God do it? And they weren't getting satisfactory answers. And then Murray asked me this question. I said, Murray, your sister-in-law was such a special person. She was so good that God wanted her to help him out up in heaven. And she is now sitting with God doing all these kind deeds. And you know what I realized? That God wanted to celebrate Murray's 100th birthday with him and not with us. So happy birthday, Murray. You're in much better hands, I must admit. And God shall bless you that your soul to Shep Nachas, as we say, take joy from all the people who are gathered here to give you honor tonight. So without any further ado, we did a little video on Murray, the best that we can capsulize his life in a few minutes. So your attention to the screen.
Murray was born in October of 1923, and he was born to Abraham Shanker and Jenny Glassman, were his parents.
He would have been 100 years old. I don't know anyone personally who lived to 100 years old, but Murray made it to his 100th year.
He lived in Brooklyn here with my Aunt Jean. They met, I believe, shortly after the war, and they lived here in Brooklyn for, the remainder of their lives.
Murray was in the military. He was in the Air Force. He was part of the 490th Bomb Squadron, and they called themselves the Burma Bridge Busters.
He went into the war in the 40s. He served in the Pacific Theater of War. He flew, I believe it was over 40 missions in the squadron, oftentimes fairly dangerous and taking heavy fire.
Murray was the guy sitting in the back of the plane with his gun. And he was so proud of his service in the Army.
He was a real storyteller, things that I never knew, when I was a kid, understanding that, he had been a Freemason and been part of a lodge for over 70 years and made it to a 33rd degree Mason. He loved to spend time with people, and that's what it was about. It was about time. He valued time. He valued those interactions.
He was a member of the shul for many years, and we were good friends. I loved him dearly. He loved me. I would call him my Murray. He loved when I'd call him my Murray. He'd leave me messages on his phone. It's my Murray.
Murray was a detailed guy. He loved the details. He loved intricacy. He loved watches. He loved calligraphy. He loved art. And to my understanding, he took up many of those things in retirement.
He would make pictures of his childhood, his years in military, and create collages and holiday cards. He would put poetry in it, write little notes, and send it off to friends.
It was an entire life after an entire life.
He had a vibrancy we can all learn from. His spiritual energy soared till the last days of his life. His body got weaker, and his nephew Craig was his caretaker. He took care of his Uncle Murray like a mother takes care of a child. I've never seen anything like that in my life.
In the time that I was able to spend with Murray, the amount of people that surrounded him was truly remarkable. And it was emotional, it was moving, and certainly something that I won't forget.
Happy birthday, my dear Murray. I'll always miss you. May your soul rest in peace.
I'd like to call upon his nephew, Craig Fox. He'd like to, a little presentation which would have gone to Maury, but as we said before, the next generation, come up, Craig. So we have over here, it's actually a charity box, which is a symbol of kindness, to think of someone else. We have this in our homes, and every day we put some charity in, and when it fills up, we distribute it to the poor and to the needy. And that's what Maury represented, chesed. So we present this to you on behalf of, presented to Craig Fox in honor of Uncle Maury's 100th birthday. A picture? I'm going to say that quick thank you.
Thank you. Very appropriate, and really happy to celebrate my uncle's 100th birthday in memory here with all of you tonight. As my family, and I'm sure many of yours have here in Brooklyn, in Yiddish would say, Mensch strakt and got locked. Man plans and God laughs, which is, I think very appropriate here. And I just really want to thank everybody here for getting together, and for everybody who's done such a wonderful job putting this dinner together and this memorial and the video together. I really appreciate it. On behalf of myself, my family, and Murray, it really is. Thank you.
So our video actually doesn't speak about how we 25 years ago, it was more focused on what's going on in present. But like we have with us several members from over 25 years ago, and we have Richard Goldstein, who came all the way from Massachusetts to be here to celebrate this special occasion tonight. So I'll ask Richard to say a few words.
Good evening. The rabbi said I only have 60 seconds, but I never listened to the rabbi. But before I start, I want to recognize two people. First of all, it is so great to see Dr. Stanley Chabelle. Great to see you. And probably Charlie Kupferman, who, when they first got the building, Rabbi was raising money. Charlie was telling us how to build it out and how to clean the place up. So Charlie, we wouldn't be here without you and your sons and your family. So thank you. So anyway, I'll make it. So I got married in 91. We moved to Park Slope. My wife started to go to B'nai Jacob, who was on 14th Street and 8th Avenue. And one night I'm putting together a microwave cart, and that's when I learned you need to get an electric screwdriver. And the phone rings. Mr. Goldstein. I go, Rabbi Hecht. He goes, how do you know it was me? I go, none of my friends call me Mr. Goldstein. He invited us to Shabbos. And 32 years later, the rest is history. But in terms of the building, we were on 14th Street and 8th Avenue in the lower sanctuary. Andrew Krakow, who now lives in Israel, was the president. Valerie Elkin, who lives with her husband Jeffrey, is in Woodstock, was the vice president. I was the treasurer, and Ronnie Centrone was the secretary. May she rest in peace. And we get invited to this meeting in the old Chai Tatz. I think it was on the second floor. And the rabbi makes this proposal: we're going to buy this building. And he's telling us we're going to do this, we're going to do this. It used to be a shul. And we all looking at him, oh, what are you, crazy? And here were the words I said after he finished selling us on this. He says, I'll raise the money, don't worry about it. I looked at him, I go, you know how hard this is going to be? And these words he said to me, he goes, if it was this easy, it wouldn't be worth it. So 25 years later, the message here is always listen to the rabbi. So, you did it.
Okay, and now to learn a little bit more about us and to know why he's not crazy, your attention to the screen.
We've been with the shul for over 10 years, and it started with my children going to Haitatz preschool. I had 4 children there, and then graduated already. And then we started coming to the events organized by CBJ with Haitatz. Just the diversity of people, like everybody is welcome here.
My wife Natalie and I, when we started coming here, we didn't really know what to expect, and came to the shul to meet the community and immediately felt a warmth here that I was not used to at any other synagogue.
I met Rabbi Heck, I met his family. I couldn't have felt more welcome than I feel at this temple. I come here almost every morning. It's wonderful. I feel like it helps connect me with Hashem, our God.
I really wanted to find a place that was like sort of unabashedly spiritual. I actually do think that that's what a lot of people are looking for, especially with young children, to grow up with that, again, as the centerpiece of their Jewish identity. Here, that's done in a really beautiful and sort of natural way.
We have a very vibrant preschool and now a very vibrant Hebrew school, High Hebrew.
We've gotten to know the Hecht family over the years, not just as the leaders of our community, but as our neighbors and friends, and we trust their sons and daughters to take care of our own sons and daughters as they were their own.
One thing that a congregant member, Shelley Braffman, said to me at a first Friday night event was how each of us are important to be here. Everybody counts. Each one of us counts.
I'm here at the shul for over 20 years. I followed my mother here, and to continue after I lost my mother was a no-brainer. I continue to sit in the same seats that I sat with next to my mother. We have so much simcha going on in our shul. We have extraordinary Purim parties. We have parties for no particular reason.
The holidays, it's very joyous. There's an experience here that is unparalleled, I could say.
Our kids know CBJ throws a great party, so they're always super excited to come, and the shul is always transformed in a really fun way. There's always a fun theme and decorations. It's always really elaborate and clear that so much work was put into it. I mean, the decorations and the food, everything just feels very homey, and like, you know, people just put a lot of effort and soul into them, and so that just makes it super, you know, just, it feels, again, like a warm community.
Purim is such a joy celebration here at the shul. It's crazy. Everybody has so much fun. Every year it's a different theme. There is entertainment for the grown-ups and for the children, and this is one of the events that everybody looks forward during the year. It's just pure happiness.
Rabbi Hecht has been the rabbi in this shul as long as I know. He is the backbone of this shul. He makes this shul happen together with Sarah, his wife. His Amunah knocks me over. It has such power. He lives it, he breathes it, he eats it, he smells it, and I can feel that coming from him.
I lost my mother almost 3.5 years ago, and Rabbi Heck volunteered to officiate at the cemetery. Even though it was COVID, the rabbi made sure there were 10 Jews for a minyan, and it was a beautiful thing.
About 9 months ago, our baby boy Levik was born, and he was born 3.5 months early. So the doctors at the hospital let us know that it's going to be quite a long stay, and we didn't really know what we were going to do. 3 months in a hospital. So I called up Rabbi Hecht, got some more information, and he said we can come for Shabbos. He invited us even to his own house and to the hospitality suites. It was definitely a lifesaver. Mazel tov, happy 25th anniversary, almost as long as I've been in Park Slope.
It's been a very, very special 22 years for us. Of course, the shul should go on to have many, many more years.
Congratulations to all of us, for the past 25 plus years, and may God grant us the ability to keep on going for many more years to come. And I can't wait that what we accomplished till now, wow, what we're gonna accomplish in the future with each and every one of you together.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. I want to give a special shout out to a very close friend of mine, Dr. Peterson, who every time I have a problem, medical or not medical, I go to see Dr. Peterson. You didn't know he was a psychiatrist. No, a rabbi also has to someone who he talks to. So thank you very much for all your help and always for being there for me. So there are two very special physicians that we're going to be honoring this evening. And to give you a little bit of a better picture, not for the doctors here. The doctors here know who Dr. Saki is, Dr. Saylor is. But for some of the other guests here, they may have just heard the name once. I know one or two of the people are your patients, but the majority of people don't know you. So we will show you a little introduction to the physicians, and then we will call them up to give them their awards.
We're here to honor tonight two fantastic physicians who have really dedicated their lives to patients here in the borough of Brooklyn. Both fantastic clinicians, superb academicians, great teachers, but above all, fantastic humanitarians. I love them both. I think they have dedicated their lives to the service of others, and I couldn't be more proud of the two physicians that we all admire here in this hospital. Dr. Anthony Saylor from Pulmonary Critical Care and Dr. Terry Saki from Cardiology. Just two people that I have great admiration and have since my 10 years here. In fact, they were two of the first doctors that I met that took me to dinner when I was a newbie here 10 years ago. But I've continued to be impressed by their dedication to patients, to the residents and the fellows that they teach every day, but most importantly to every doctor, every nurse, every staff member here in the institution. They really represent what is best about American medicine. They represent what is best about humanity in Brooklyn, and I think that they stand the test of time, and I consider both of them to be giants in medicine.
When I came to Methodist Hospital, New York Methodist Hospital before it was NYP Brooklyn Methodist Hospital, 14 years ago for my interview, I remember meeting Dr. Sala during the interview process, and it was almost like we were long-lost friends. He has this ability of bringing people in and making them feel immediately a part of his family. And I think that's why he is such a great physician, because he really takes his patients and makes them a part of his family. And I think in order to be a good physician, you really need to have a lot of empathy for the people you're trying to treat. And Dr. Sala exhibits that on a daily basis with his patients, with his colleagues, with his students. And I've just really come to appreciate and learn from him how to be a great doctor.
It's an honor and privilege to be here this evening to celebrate two phenomenal physicians for the community of Brooklyn and for New York Presbyterian Brooklyn Methodist. Dr. Anthony Sala and Dr. Terrence Saki are probably two of the most consummate physicians of our time, not only taking care of the entire community with impeccable care and thoroughness, but also teaching many generations of physicians for our future. Dr. Saki, as one of the pioneers in Brooklyn, over the many years, 40 years or so of service, has really catered to these patients for all the disease spectrum in cardiology with his terrific bedside acumen and interventional skills here for the Brooklyn Methodist Hospital. For that, we are really, really blessed, and it's a pleasure to be here this evening.
Thank you, Congregation B'nai Jacob. It's really wonderful that you have decided to honor Dr. Terry Saki and Dr. Anthony Sala tonight.
I'd like to call upon the chairman of tonight's dinner, the president of the medical board of NYPB, you know the rest. I tried it once, I'm not going to try it again. I don't want to ruin my reputation. Anyway, so Dr. Stam and I go back 30 years.
30 plus.
He's only 25, I'm 21, but we go back 30 years. And it's been a pleasure to able to see him. At the beginning only would come in on Sunday until I started coming every day, and Dr. Stam was always there. Always there. What are you doing on Sunday? You're not supposed to be working on Sunday. He's there taking care of his patients. So he's a great person, a great doctor, and it's a great honor for us to have him this year as our dinner chairman.
Good evening, everyone. It is my pleasure to honor Dr. Terrence Saki. Dr. Terrence Saki came to us from our sister hospital, Long Island College Hospital. As he was chief of cardiology there, he came to us and really basically brought our interventional cardiology to a very, very high level, was instrumental in developing cardiac surgery at Methodist and all the things that we've grown to depend upon. So please, I'd like to invite Dr. Saki up to the podium. One of the things that I have to tell you about Dr. Saki is that generations of our residents have gone into cardiology due to his inspiration. He is really at his best. He's the recipient of numerous house staff and fellow awards. Terry, thank you for everything that you do for us and for our Brooklyn community.
Thank you.
Beautiful. Very nice.
Can you read it?
No.
You can't read it. Presented to guest of honor, Dr. Terry Saki from Congregation B'nai Jacob. Thank you very much, Dr. Saki. I'm sorry. Again, I don't know if I said it before, but this tree on the charity box, actually, as you noticed before, the emblem of our synagogue is a tree of life. And the point of this box is to remember other people and give them their life. which are exactly what our doctors this evening are doing.
Well, thank you, Rabbi and Dr. Stam. I am humbled to be here among you, and thank you so much for including me in the celebration this evening. I would just like, before I make just a few remarks, to comment on how great it is to see so many colleagues of the Methodist family here, some current and some older, Dr. Chabelle in particular. But I'm so grateful that you're here tonight. But particularly, I'd like to acknowledge our Chief of Cardiology, Dr. Parikh, who did a lot of work. I know he did with all his other things to support this event, and he leads a superb group of cardiologists that I'm honored to work among. And if it's possible that they're as good cardiologists, they're better people, if that's possible, and I think it is. So thank you, Manish, and thank you, the Division of Cardiology. I've known Rabbi for a while, and the thing that strikes me about the Rabbi, that he always has a smile, and his manner is trying to unify, dealing with sick patients, families. A physician is having a bad day, he always has a good word. And furthermore, I've had the other privilege of living in Park Slope, and I'm well aware of the impact that the synagogue and the congregation has had throughout Park Slope and certainly Brooklyn. And with all the events they sponsor, they really attempt to bring people together. So I think, particularly in this time of turmoil and stress throughout the world, certainly the example of the congregation and Rabbi, it should be taken to heart, that things that unite us are much stronger than anything that divides us. So I congratulate you. Thank you, Rabbi. Thank you.
It's with great pleasure that I ask Dr. Anthony Salo to come up to the podium. Dr. Salo. Methodist in Brooklyn, running your veins. Intern of the year.
A few years ago.
Pulmonary fellow. Program director. President of the medical board. Trustee of Methodist Hospital. But the thing that strikes me the most about Tony is that he is an unbelievable physician who will stand at the bedside for 12 hours, not moving, with somebody who's critically ill. It's a pleasure to listen to him on rounds at the ICU. He takes incomprehensible medical things and makes it understandable to mortal people like myself. It's just such an exciting evening to have you here with us. Congratulations, Tony. You're the best.
It's before you.
Just before Dr. Saylor says a few words, on a very personal level, when my mother was brought into the hospital and Dr. Saylor was there to give me the support that I needed at that time. Fortunately, only lasted a week. when he was there, and I never had the opportunity to thank him publicly, at least, for him being there for me and my family. And I also was told by little birdie that Dr. Saylor was supposed to be honored before COVID hit. And after COVID hit, everyone forgot about it. So I'm so happy that we were able to step up to the plate and give Dr. Saylor this well-deserved honor that everyone wanted to do, but we did it.
Good evening, everybody, and thank you so much. I hate to quote my dear friend Dr. Sacchi, but I too am extremely humbled by this event this evening, and I can't thank you all enough. I tend to be a little verbose. I'm certainly going to try and limit my remarks. First, I would be extraordinarily remiss if I didn't thank Rabbi Hecht, who, as I met his lovely wife earlier, this is a man who really embodies what care is all about. You don't have to be a physician to provide care. He provides such leadership to his congregation. So many of these people, when they're ill, that's their most vulnerable moments. And Rabbi Hecht is always there as a source of reason and as a sounding board for what should be done next. These are extraordinarily difficult times. Physicians are using these terms that most lay people don't know. Rabbi Hecht has this incredible ability to break things down simply and to make his congregation not only make good, sound decisions, but to feel comfortable about it. And Rabbi, I can't thank you enough for all that you do for our hospital and your congregation. I also would I have to mention a few people. Dr. Stanley Sherbel, who I see here. Dr. Sherbel, thank you for your guidance and leadership. I'm sure Rabbi Hecht would admit if it weren't for Dr. Sherbel, I think the great affiliation we have with this wonderful location would not be as robust. So Dr. Sherbel, thank you for all that you've done. I want to thank Dr. Peterson and the entire Department of Medicine. The check is in the mail. Don't worry. I will get you a check with whatever I got. Thank you for your kind words and for your leadership as well. Dr. Stam, you've become medical board president in an impossibly difficult time and navigated it with such a plum, and you assuage all of our concerns as a medical staff, so I want to thank you for all that you do. You know, in life you have two families. You have a home family and you have a work family. And Dr. Weingarten is the head of my work family, and I cannot thank my pulmonary family enough for coming. I love you all. You mean so much to me. And Jeremy, Ruth, thank you for your support. Salim and my fellows that are like my children. Ivan, thank you so much for not only coming tonight, but for your constant support. And finally, I was fortunate enough to share the stage with a real physician, and as Dr. Reisman so eloquently said when he saw Dr. Sacchi tonight, a real mensch, and that is the great Dr. Terry Sacchi. So, you know, Dr. Sacchi was in Long Island College Hospital. I was always a Methodist guy. I had more style than him, you know, which still is ongoing. And when he was in Lich, we would share so many patients, and they would all come with such wonderment. Oh, Dr. Sacchi is great. Oh, Dr. Sacchi. Oh, I'm like, geez, who the frig is this guy, you know? 20 plus years ago when he came to Methodist, then I really got to know what they were raving about. And to be honest, they were underestimating him. Terry, I can say that you are a physician's physician, but more important than that, you're a real man. You are a man's man. You are someone that we all look up to. In Methodist and in our evaluations, you know, we rank people, and the final ranking is aspirational, and nobody gets aspirational. Well, I will tell you one thing, Dr. Saki, both as a physician and as a friend, undyingly loyal, you are aspirational. And to share the stage with you is really makes this event so much more special to me. I thank you for your friendship and for the extraordinary care. Dr. Saki saved my father's life. He's probably saved half of Brooklyn's life. So, Terry, thank you. I just want to close by saying what an extraordinary honor this is. I've been in Methodist for a few years, and to be honored by Rabbi and such an extraordinary congregation that truly just cares for the well-being of everybody is something that I will never forget. And from the bottom of my heart, I thank you.
Well done.
Thank you, doctors. Thank you, Stam. We're going to have a little bit of dancing now, and then the main course will be served. So we're going to have a circle for the men, a circle for the women. Please join in. Show us how young you are and how vibrant you are. Let's go. Without any further ado, back to the man.